my father said years ago, and this has always stuck with me, it was a really helpful reflection back on my character. He said, Julie, you're loyal, but you're also loyal to a fault. And that was really helpful to see how your strengths can be weaknesses or qualities about you can serve one way or the other. And he wasn't saying it about Greg, but he was noticing those relationships in my life and those patterns, and that's probably still true today. I'll stick things out for thick or thin. And so that played into it of saying, was I just being loyal to be loyal to this relationship because I didn't want to, and I didn't want to fail. All those things enter in. And then at what point do you say, you know what, God's going to use this, and we're two sinners who God will work. And we're very, very different personalities. So it's really interesting how God has used us each. So I care too much what people think. Greg probably cares too little, and we're growing to meet in the middle in those ways.
Which you can complement yourselves like beautifully, but also lots of confrontation, lots of friction.
It is really another one of those pictures of how God works because he knows where he's taking us. He knows what he's going to have us doing. You wouldn't have said as you're walking around CCF, what I need is a bodybuilding surfer from Florida who decides he wants to go to seminary, That's the guy.
Right.
But at a really significant level, this is getting ahead of the story, you and Greg share a vision for life that it would take a unique man to sign on to what you think this is what I want to give my life to. And God provided that man.
Yeah.
And that's just such an amazing, amazing thing because, again, we don't know who that person's going to be, where they're going to come from, what they're going to bring with them. And so we struggle with, how is this ever going to work? And God knows this is a person that I'm going to place next to you to do some of the most significant things you will do with your life, although we don't know that story.
Yeah. That's what I really appreciate about Greg, actually, because in past relationships I've been in, I always felt like there's something I'd have to give up about me to be in that relationship. And it's really interesting because you teach kids who to look for, what to look for in other people that they're dating or going to marry, but you don't often teach them, well, what are the qualities in you that you don't want to change, or maybe that do need changed and sharpened? And what I really appreciate about Greg is he let me be me, and he also sharpened me to be a better me. But he let me be me, and Julie was always going to be a bleeding heart. Julie was going to be bringing animals home from the rescue or do foster care, and he very quickly, early on in our dating, he had the same vision. So once I stopped doing foster care social work and was working for CCF full time, I had decided, you know what, I'm single, but I can still do respite for foster families. So I became certified as a foster parent and just decided until I get married or until I know what I'm going to do, I'm going to do babysitting, really. They call it respite.
Right.
So I take them when they go out of town. If they go away for a week and they need somebody to watch the foster kids, I do that.